Performing Arts Manager here at Civic Hall. We're happy that you're here this evening for the Percussion Ensemble and Steel Drum Bands concert, their spring concert. They've been working really, really hard to prepare for this, and steel bands are going to be going, for a lot of you that know this, they're going to be going to a contest / festival over at Miami of Ohio, I believe this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. So they've been working really hard to get ready for that as well. Just a couple of things from housekeeping standpoint. If we would happen to have some type of emergency, notice where the exits are. All of you came in from your right-hand side. There are also exits on the left. If you are closer to the left, all you have to do is go out the door to the left and then to the rear of the building, up some steps, and then door 8 is right there, and it takes you out into the patio area of the football field. That would be the easiest or the fastest way out. If you're closer to the right side, you just go out the same way you came in, and you'll be outside very quickly. 90 seconds, it's really fast. Also want to remind you, or let you know if you aren't aware, next Friday is a Devilettes Showcase. If you've never seen the Devilettes perform, it's a really cool performance. It's similar to a dance recital. If you've had sons or daughters that have been in dance recitals, but it's all the Devilettes here at the high school. They do various performances, including palm routines and flag routines, as well as dance. So that's next Friday at 7 p.m. So you want to come see that. That's the only performance. Tonight's obviously 6:30. Theirs is at 7. So that's next Friday. Want you to sit back and relax as we bring out the percussion ensemble. They're going to be the first performers, and enjoy the concert.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for being here tonight. My name is Mr. Merkamp, and I direct this percussion ensemble. We are going to start our concert with an original composition. You're about to hear a world premiere by a composer that's in residence here, Mr. John Leith. John is a freshman in the band program and is a percussionist. He plays some piano. John wrote a really interesting piece. It's called Chime Maniac. And from what I can tell, John was really interested in the chimes, and he was kind of fascinated with the sound of the chimes. And so he started putting together some ideas. Now, the great thing about composers, or the interesting thing about composers, is they have to draw like their ideas from their brain, and then they got to start putting them down into music. Well, John's piece is based on what's called a motive. It's 8. Hi there. It's 8 notes, and I'm going to play that. I'm going to ask John to play his 8-note motive that you're going to hear through his piece. Go ahead, John. So he has 8 notes in his motive. Now, for comparison, Beethoven's 5th is based on 4 notes. That means John's twice as good. That's pretty cool. So what's interesting about John's piece is it goes through, like, his motive that he wrote goes through a development. It changes through the piece. He does it in different rhythms, and then he takes it and puts it in different instruments. He probably didn't even realize he was doing some of these things. But he develops this thing, and it kind of develops to an early climax, and then that's what we would call our A section. Then it goes to a B section. The B section is completely different. And the B section it gets very rhythmic, and then it has an interesting compositional device. It has improvisation. So the melody that John plays on the chimes through there is improvised. He makes it up as he goes. He introduces a lot of different colors in the percussion ensemble. And then what he does is he has us go back to the beginning and we do a repetition of the first section. So it's in this form ABA, and then it ends with a very short coda, and a coda is an ending. So it has lots of elements that a very mature composition would have. And it's a really good piece of music. Now, there's a famous saying by none other than the famous musician Garth Brooks. I'm sure you're pretty familiar with Garth, but he says there's two kinds of music. He says there's good music and there's bad music. Well, to me, good music is anything that's worth listening to, and it's enjoyable. And you're going to find this piece is interesting, and it's fun, and he did a really nice job on it. And I can't really say enough. Like, he went above and beyond to do this piece. John is a freshman, and he's 15 years old, and he wrote this piece by himself. So I was really, really impressed and want you guys to encourage him when you see him because he did a real nice job. So we're going to start with Chime Maniac, and you'll see, and when you hear it, you'll understand why it's called Chime Maniac. John doesn't know this yet, but John, come up here. John, it is a tradition that when a piece is premiered, that the composer shakes the hand of the conductor. So congratulations, nicely done. Thank you. All right, the next piece we're going to play for you is a little south of the border kind of Caribbean thing. It's called Katie's Bossa. It's a bossa nova, which is a dance, a South American dance. So, all right, I think we're ready. So I'm going to tell you like it is. When we really kind of started as a new ensemble in January, at the beginning of the semester, and I'll tell you like it is, like we were not an ensemble. We were not a team. And we could not play together to save our lives. And we have come a long, long way because this music that we're doing is we've done kind of gone a different direction. Usually we think of percussion as being big, heavy, strong, loud music, right? So we've gone kind of to the lighter side of playing percussion music, as you can hear. And it's more delicate and it's more exposed, which is really, really hard. What's hard is like everybody has to be on all the time. When you play big, loud music and everybody plays the same part, it's really not that hard because everybody's playing the same thing. But with us, we have just a lot of different things going on. And you're going to hear that in this next piece we're going to play. It's called The Back Roads of Midian. And it's a really interesting piece, but I want you to kind of listen for the fact that there's a ton of different things going on in this piece. Everybody's part is very independent. So hope you enjoy it. This is our last selection, and we'll bring on our steel band. And I do want to thank the gentleman in the steel drum, I use that term loosely, gentleman in the steel drum shirt, Mr. Mark Simmons, for sitting in with us tonight. So thank you, Mr. Simmons. We are going to take a moment and we're going to clear our percussion instruments off the stage while the steel drum band gets set.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming tonight. This is our beginning steel band. This is a group of musicians who have been playing their instruments for about a year now. Maybe them just a little bit longer. And that piece was Ross Moss. And as you can tell, this class is for developing our fundamental skills. So sometimes things go sideways, and when they do, we just kind of roll with it and we make it work out. So I'm really pleased with these guys. They have a lot of tenacity, and they're hard workers, and I'm proud of what they've accomplished. And they are, by and large, part of like the next generation of the steel band. So I really enjoy working with them. They're a great group of kids. They have a good sense of humor, and they just love music. This next tune that we're going to do is going to be Jammin' by Bob Marley. Okay, so now this is the tail end of our beginner portion. I have a couple of awards to hand out. This is our last concert of the spring, and it's always nice to be able to recognize the students for their achievements and for their accomplishments. So we're going to keep this brief, and as I call your name, please come forward. Okay. So this first award is our most approved, and we have 2 students who have earned this award. These students are more or less new to the steel band scene, and that is Gracie Branham and Bronson Vogelsong. Come on up. Okay, and you're gonna notice a theme between some of these awards. I'm not that creative, so you're just gonna have to, like, when we get to the advanced part, you'll be like, oh yeah, he already handed out those awards. Yeah, okay. All right, so next up is our Steel Sturdy Award. This is an award that I like to give to students who are like really killing it on their instrument and just are super helpful in class. So the 2 students who have earned the Steel Sturdy Award are Malachi Qualls and Branson Thomas. Okay, last 2. So these next 2, these are new for the steel band this year. These are the Directors Awards, and I tried to make this one student, and I just couldn't because there were 2 really great options, and so I decided to just make it 2. So the 2 students who receive this award, they are generally speaking students that are very, very, very helpful in class. They're great leaders, and they are also very proficient on their instruments, and that is Asher Davis and Braden Moore. Right there. Okay, this is the photo opportunity. Here we go. Make room for Branson, please. All right, and now we're going to invite the advanced steel band up, and beginners, you guys are going to exit this way and go sit down there. Okay, so our theme for our concert tonight is video games, movies, and radio, because I couldn't come up with anything better for that. So that was Coconut Mall from Mario Kart. Next up, and you will see this train that's coming up, we have a soloist that we're going to feature, a senior, Bailey Shin. She's been with the steel band have you been in this for 4 years? Is it 4 years? So this is her 3rd year, so she's a 3-year senior. And she's going to play a solo on the guitar pan. And these stands here that are super easy to move, we actually just fundraised about $3,000 to purchase 4 sets of guitar stands and a lead stand. So we're going to continue our fundraising efforts to continue to replace our stands so that way our pans stop falling. And so we have the community to thank for the fundraising. So thank you very much for helping out our students and supporting our programs. Bailey is a senior, like I said, and she came to me at the beginning of this year and she was like, hey, can I do solo and ensemble contests? And I'm like, sure, let's get you a trombone solo, because she plays trombone. And she's like, no, I want to play it on the pan. And I'm like, oh. And so, if you know anything about music education in the United States, you know that the steel pan is a very new instrument. It's only 80 years old, and so it hasn't quite made its way into the mainstream as far as all the things that we do, except for Ohio. Ohio offers solo and ensemble for steel pans. So I was like, all right, let's get you on the concert. And she is totally normal about the Muppets. Totally normal about the Muppets. Yeah, if you know her, you know that's a lie. So I was like, why don't we do just Rainbow Connection? So this is from the Muppet movie. So, just like Mr. Merkamp said about the people who compose come up and have a handshake with the conductor, well, usually soloists will also do that. So we're going to do the commensurate handshake of the director and the soloist. Congratulations. Okay, one moment, please. Don't drop the microphone. Maybe I'll drop my hip. Thanks. Okay, so we're about to get on to our final number with the steel band, but of course this is our final concert, so I want to make sure that I recognize our students for their accomplishments. First up is our new Challenger Award. This is a brand new award, and I think it's funny because of the name, and because the reason why I call it the new Challenger Award is because these are for people who this is their first semester in the advanced steel band. Okay, so I try to find ways to highlight student achievement. And what better way to recognize when someone who this is their first semester in a very challenging group to be in, who they're doing well. So I have two students who have received this award, and our two new challengers are Jaden Jimenez Cruz and Cade Mills. Yes, sir. I want you to stand in front of Brady right there. Stand in front of Brady, okay. All right, moving right along to the Director's Choice Awards. The Director's Awards, like I explained earlier, I'm looking for students who are exemplary helpers and very proficient at their instrument. And the two, I really have kind of hard decisions to make with some of these awards because there's just so many great students in my program. But the two students who received the Director's Award for the Advanced Band are going to be Michael Allen Lynch-Seda and Hannah Lee. There you go. You're welcome. Stand right there. Stand right over there. Okay, moving right along. Steel Sturdy. These are people who I can always count on in class and are just really, really, really great players. And our Steel Sturdy Award for this year goes to Brady Newton. Congratulations. Okay, and finally we have just a couple of seniors in this program to recognize. We have four, but two of them could not be with us tonight. So I will be reading their names and presenting their award in class. Our four seniors, and these are people who have kind of been with me through this program almost in the entirety that I have been in charge. So they are very special to me, and they do a wonderful job in class and they do a wonderful job on stage. Bailey Shin. Stop crying, Andrea. Andrea Felsman and Stephen Mitchell and Chase Reeves. Give it up for our seniors this year. Come on. All right. Okay, up here, guys, up here. Let's walk to the front. Okay, another round of applause for our award winners. All right, back to your instruments, guys. Okay. All right. Enough cat calling, all right? If you've noticed, the Advanced Steel Band, our programs at these concerts are usually a little bit more verbose. We'll do 5 or 6 tunes, and they're all slobber knockers, and they're really hard. But this semester, we have something a little different going on, and so we have been busy. It has been the craziest semester of my teaching career. I am not joking. On Saturday, we will be traveling to Oxford, Ohio to perform a tribute concert to the rock band Rush. with the Miami Steel Band, 6 other high school steel bands, and a professional rock band in their basketball stadium, which is a huge arena, and with full sound and lighting effects and just everything that you would expect to see at a rock concert, except if that rock concert had over 200 band players. So that concert's going to be about 90 minutes long, and these hardworking individuals are going to be performing on the last half of that concert. And they're going to be performing tunes that you know, like Closer to the Heart, Xanadu, if you're a real Rush fan, Tom Sawyer, which is one of the most iconic songs, and then our final song of the night, which will be Fly By Night, and we're going to play that for you now. This song is going to feature our drum set player, Thunderhawk Shaw. Thunder is, you heard him, you didn't hear him with the jazz band because that was this morning. Thunder is an amazing drum set player, and I am so impressed with his work ethic and his skill. I gave him this part, and I was like, hey, do you have time to learn this at home? And he was like, I don't know. And then he came back after spring break and he could play it all. So I'm super thrilled with him. You're going to be really excited with our performance. Here's Fly By Night by Rush. Thank you so much for coming out. Oh, also, in your program, there is a link to become a sponsor of the Steel Band. And before I forget, I need to recognize our senior sponsors, or our season sponsors. We have at our Calypso level, the Music Pantry. Thank you so much. Panorama level sponsor, Dr. Steve Stoller. Ellie Manette level sponsors, which is our highest level sponsorship, Nick and Rhonda Newton, Michelle Adkison Redwine, and Dr. Catherine Marsteller. So if you could please give a round of applause for our sponsors. So the reason we didn't do more of the Pan Rocks Rush concert is because they're so heavily dependent on the rock band, and I wasn't able to book them for tonight. So that's on me. I'm sorry. If you liked that, first of all, that's the easy song. That's the easy number from their set. They've got 5 more that they'll play with all those Pan players this Saturday at Miami University in Millette Hall at 7:30 p.m. Tickets are like $20 or something like that, and like it's going to be just an amazing concert. So thank you so much for coming out. Please check out the information in our program about becoming a music booster or becoming a program sponsor of the Steel Bands. Have a wonderful evening and stay dry. Thank you so much.